Hey everyone, nice to see you all. I hope you're all good. Hey, I'm gonna try and do a new video series where we do some kind of like AMA style videos. I recently asked my Discord followers, a lot of people that are in the Discord, and if you want to join the Discord, it's below. You can find it, it's somewhere down there. Join us, there's many of us in there. I asked some of our Discord followers that if they had any questions about Japan or about anything that I've experienced while I'm here. And I think having lived in Japan for about 7, almost 8 years now, I think that I can share quite a bit of wisdom. Is wisdom the right word? I can share a lot of stories and a lot of kind of comments on what I have experienced here. So, how are we going to do this? Well, I'm going to answer some of the questions that were asked, so I'm going to just put some of them up on the screen in a second, and we'll just chat. I'm hoping that I can answer them smooth enough, and I'm trying to take this all in one take so that it doesn't seem so cutty. That's why probably I'm just kind of stuttering a little bit now. I'm hoping that as well that we don't hear the train going past. I have tried to set it up so it doesn't do that. Anyway, let's get straight into the first question. So the first question comes from a guy called Dave. The question is, what's the work culture like in Japan, and how many hours do you work a week? It's a very good question. Honestly, I'm kind of lucky to an extent. My working hours that are contracted working hours are about 30 a week, which really isn't much. Most people are averaging like 40, 45 plus. The reason it's so low is that there's a lot of travel. So I'm having to go from client to client, which can take hours upon hours of your day. I think in some cases when I'm traveling to Tokyo and I have to come back the same day, I spend 5 hours on the Shinkansen traveling just to get there for, say, a 3-4 hour seminar, which I think has huge value in itself. I mean, it's super cool. When I'm on the Shinkansen too, I get to edit videos like this, so that's also fun to do. But yeah, not super long. However, I do unfortunately do a fair bit of work outside, and I don't tell my boss this. But the additional work is so that I'm ready and prepared to get everything done. There's just so much happening in our company right now, so we're really, really busy. And we're always busy, jeez. But I like busy because busy keeps me motivated and active and just doing stuff. Now for the other question about what is the work culture like here, I think for a lot of foreigners, if you're a foreigner thinking of coming to Japan, it can be good if you're working in, say, an Eikaiwa, which is an English communication school. There's a lot of them out there, like Nova, GABA, Eon, like there's tons. So if you're interested, I mean, take a look at some of them. It's a great way to get into Japan and a great way to experience a couple years here. But for, I think, a lot of Japanese people who work in like bigger companies, it's kind of tough. And by that, I mean, like, there's such a difference in seniority difference in hierarchy between Japan and, say, the UK or America. I mean, at least in the UK and the States, we can kind of talk to our bosses on a very kind of similar level. But if you're working in Japan, you've got to be very careful what you say to people above you. So there's so many, that's why there's so many different forms of Japanese. There's like Keigo and like just casual Japanese. It can be tough. But there's also something called service zangyo. And service zangyo, like service overtime, which still blows my mind. It's just people doing additional work as a service to a customer. And yeah, it can be tough, I think. The government has tried to put things into place to reduce the amount of overtime that goes on in Japan. So I believe... Oh, I'm going to be wrong here. I'm going to have to check the facts. But I believe the amount of overtime in a month is capped at 80 hours? I feel like someone told me that recently. I'm going to have to take a look. I'll put it up on the screen. But even then, 80 hours in a month is still quite a lot, considering that that's 20 extra hours a week. So, yeah. But in all honesty, I feel like that's not every company. I feel that's like 20%. Like, most people work pretty good schedules, so... Yeah, I'm blathering here. Work culture, I think, is improving, and the amount of hours I work are not as many as most others, but there's a lot of traveling involved, so there you go. All right, so our next question is from Goddess of All That's Potato. What a fantastic name. That is super, super cool. Her question, or his question, or their question, I don't know, is there a character you really want a figure of, but you think they'll never get any? That's a tough question, honestly. No? I don't think there is right now. Like, I can't think off the top of my head of, say, some anime or some manga that I've read where there's a character I thought, you know what, I really, really want that figure, or I want that character as a figure. So for now, I'm going to say no. If I do think of one, I will add a comment somewhere around here just to update you. But for now, off the top of my head, I'm pretty content with what figures and what characters we have. Be that a Rem or a Miku, because we don't clearly get any other bloody figures. But yeah, that's a tough question. So next up is from someone called Brondo. Their question is, as a person from the UK going out to Japan, what was the biggest surprise for you living there? It's very specific, being a person from the UK going out to Japan. I wouldn't really know how to answer that. The biggest surprise for me was how do I put this? I think the biggest surprise for me was how difficult it was for me to integrate into groups and to make friends. And I think it's very, very easy to meet people. There's a bar here called Hub. It's kind of a foreign bar where there'll be a lot of foreigners, a lot of gaijin hunters. Gaijin hunter, someone that's looking for a foreigner to make a boyfriend or girlfriend. Anyway. But there's a lot of friendly people there, and there's a lot of events where you can meet really nice people. But I feel that those friendships are very kind of surface level. Like, they're very much like a peach, like where it's very soft, very easy to get in, but actually getting close to them, like that hard nut in the middle, it's pretty hard to get really close to them. And I find that groups here take a long time to develop, like a really, really long time to develop. You'll see people who still connect back to their high school friends, even their junior high school friends, where they'll go out, they'll catch up, they'll have lunch and whatever, because they're so tight. Once you're in, you're in. But sometimes it's also quite hard to get into those groups. So yeah, I think that was the biggest shock when I first came here. So our next question comes from Mushuwu. Oh god, that's horrible. Why did I do that? The question comes from Mushuwu. And the question is, what do you recommend someone who wants to go on a trip to Japan? My assumption from this is, what places do I recommend? Well, I'm going to focus on Kansai because Kansai is my heart and soul. I absolutely love this place and I highly recommend people come here. The first place that I strongly recommend to go is Fushimi Inari. Fushimi Inari is a famous shrine, famous shrine in Kyoto, where they have lots of these like orange, like they call it tori, like so these shrine gates. They go all the way up the mountain. It's beautiful and it's such an amazing experience. It's so pretty. And I wish I could go there every year. I haven't been every year, but I have been about 4 or 5 times in the 7-8 years that I've lived here. Highly recommend it. My second recommendation is Universal Studios Japan. That's located in Osaka, and oh my god, it's such a cool day out. It's such a cool experience. Plus, they also have the brand new Mario World over there. Blah, 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 blah. They have the new Mario World over there. Sorry, getting a bit tongue-tied. Which looks super cool. I haven't gone yet because of COVID, and I'm trying to avoid like big places where there's a lot of people. But from what I've heard from my friends, it's fantastic. And I don't think anywhere else in the world right now has a Super Mario World. So that's definitely on the list. And my third recommendation in Kansai specifically is Denden Town. And Denden Town is the equivalent to Akihabara in Tokyo. And Denden Town, it basically just means like electronic town. It's just whatever it's called. But it's super cool. They have one main road, which is the Ota Road, which is the Otaku Road, the main street. There's game shops, there's anime figure shops, there's card shops, there's so much cool stuff there. And you can easily spend a whole day or a whole couple of days there. So I highly recommend that. Plus, of course, if you're in Tokyo, do go to Akihabara. That is an amazing experience too. But definitely Denden Town in Nipponbashi, Osaka is fantastic. Highly recommend that. And then the final question, and I'm going to make it final because I do have a few extra ones for another video, comes from Woodju2004, and they ask, what cities would you recommend someone absolutely to visit on a 1 to 2 week trip? I would definitely say that Osaka is priority on your list. Just come here and visit. Kyoto should be a place that you go check out too, as well as Tokyo, like the main places. But I think going out and visiting some of the more country places is an awesome experience. For example, I think out in Shizuoka, there's some really nice like onsen and hotels where you get a beautiful view of Mount Fuji. You can also go out to Hiroshima, so you can go check out the nuclear bomb dome. I can't remember what it's called, but that's where the bombs were unfortunately dropped. I know Kyushu is fantastic too. Kyushu down in Hakata. So in Fukuoka, I think that's right. They have some really nice food and some really nice kind of sightseeing places, so that's another great city. And I've never been there. I want to go Hokkaido. I want to go visit some of the cool places up there. Every winter they have a snow festival where they do all the snow kind of sculptures, so I think that would be super cool to go to. But you could do basically a whole tour of all of the islands. One strong place that I would love to recommend everybody go is Tokushima. And I've got quite a bias there because my wife's family's from there. But Tokushima has some awesome events. Every year they have something called the Awa Odori, which is like a dance festival. Super cool. It's so busy, it's kind of crazy. So if you get the chance to go to Shikoku in Tokushima in Shikoku, highly recommend that. So please do go check that out. There you go. Those are some of the questions that were asked on our Discord. I do have another 5 or 6 questions on my list, so I'm going to do one more video after this. Hopefully I can put that up in the next couple of weeks. But if you have any questions you want to ask me, please leave them below. I want to keep making videos like this. I think this would be a fantastic opportunity for me to connect with you guys and really start to answer some of your questions. So yeah, that was fun. Hey, if you liked today's video, oh god, I can't even think what to say. If you liked today's video, please do give us a like, please subscribe, because I want to make sure that you're all up to date with any content that's coming out, and I look forward to seeing you next time. So yeah, bye bye!